Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me a screen. Today, I will send to you about recent advances according to Professor Maiceanu from Pennsylvania University in the United States, with cooperation with Corina Poca from Romania by Professor Cecilia Roman. The title of our article emerges is Advances in Biodiesel Production for Microalgae. These biofuels, as a renewable, economy-friendly and cost-effective energy source, is a method to reduce carbon dioxide greenhouse effect, which is a result of using fossil fuel with adding to the combustion to the nowadays combustion remedial biomass combustion, and therefore adding the carbon that was one time absorbed by Earth. The reason of work is the trial of finding the method for overcome global warming, pollution, by pollution, plastic, and global warming, greenhouse effect, ozone, and these algae can help because this algae will capture this oxide and can clean this water and thus can reduce the effect and biofuels. Algae are very good source because are full of lipid and can be changed after fermentation or not to biofuels like biobutanol, ethanol, hydrogen, and methane, and also by kerosene. It can also be fuel after pyrolysis. It can also be added as another source of polymer, both from dark fermentation and polymer from protein and from pyrolysis. Usually, the biofuels different because there are two attempts. First is for algae, and other is for food crops of oily seeds like olive and rapeseed, but it's not so much. That is now used as experimental test for fuel for aviation. Biodiesel, more attention because the microalgae has higher content of oil than oil or rape, so it's much efficient for using as biopotential source of ethanol. Thus, I'm all for fat. Another method is more keeping more high oxygen than traditional plants, so will reduce more quickly carbon dioxide and cold the area. Convention technique is using triglyceride from lipids and addition of alcohol, also from carbonyl liquor, and using catalyst, coming to glycerol and metal ester, which is one reaction for biodiesel production. The other, non-catalytic, is needed some more temperature and usually more energy, but In this case, can be FAME, fatty acid metal ester, which are perfect as both as biodiesel and lubricant, because FAME can also reduce viscosity of biodiesel as bioethanol, allowing there for using in more heavy machine like ships or trucks, which are not available in case of ethanol, because the engine wasn't working properly. The other issue is that FAME in producing not less nitrogen oxide, because other trouble is by using to trans is easier, is less polluted than rape oil, and less nitrogen oxide. So comparable in combustion to this of are currently used in traditional conventional fuel, because not only we have to use as change as because replacement, as also make it more more clearer and more efficient for our using. This is used by some additions, and FIME is very good additive for overcoming experience with nanoparticles. The professor, uh, the professor uh, Cecilia Roma suggests using chlorella as the best and nanochlorose. This using for fame, fame, and also from fatty ethyl ester and fatty ethyl metal esters. Both are very efficient. The best conversion he obtained from nanochlorous, but is much required less. The other advantage is that rapes and olive need some fertilizer, much fertilizer, so much cost of agriculture. While alga don't only need some catching to avoid coming there to fresh water. If surrounding fresh water is too polluted, too salty, so can generate blooming of algae and disaster. There are sometimes also using many catalysts and propose as the best as using catalyst from tungsten oxide and zirconia oxide urges conversion even to 94 to diesel and chromium aluminum mixed oxide as the best catalyst. And this catalyst allows that alga, in this case he used Ceremus over bacteria that he proposed, as the highest production that with no such high emission of nitrous oxides or carbon monoxide. And this shows us that microalgae are very good on this promising method for obtaining biofuels, also hydrogen. Thank you very much for listening to me.